Hi guys, it's another day of review. So this is the ordinary AHA-BHA 30%. It's a pill that they said that you can use once a week or once every 4 days, okay? And there's another one that I would like to review. It's not only Peter Thomas Roth, okay, but any pads that is formulated this way, like it's a pill, it's supposed to be used every day. It's said in this particular brand, Peter Thomas Roth, it's the unwrinkled thing. And I had just found out that this has been discontinued, okay? So I will discuss with you any pads that you may have, either whatever brand it is, as long as it is used supposedly every day and it's in a pad, okay? Pad, meaning it is in something like this, okay? So we will review what they are all about and the comparison and why the other one, which is the ordinary, is a weekly thing and this one is supposedly a daily use, okay? So we'll talk about now the ordinary 30% HA-BHA. So it says in their ingredient list, it has glycolic, lactic, tartaric, and citric acid, okay? So these are 4 acids that they have in this formulation. Tartaric acid, we know it is from wine or grapes, and you can also get tartaric from banana or from tamarind, okay? So the 30% AHA will be coming from glycolic, a combination of the blend of glycolic, salicylic acid. No, the salicylic acid is 2%. The blend of AHA would be glycolic, lactic, tartaric, and citric, okay? So in the formulation, if you see, there is an ingredient list that says sodium hydroxide. Okay, sodium hydroxide has a pH higher. It's not lower. It's a pH higher. It is more than 6 pH level because it is in an alkaline state. And why is that in this formulation? The reason why, in my opinion, it has sodium hydroxide is so that they can adjust the pH to a higher level, because the pH of this is 3.6, meaning to say glycolic acid works on a lower pH, meaning a pH of 3.5 to 3.8. That is how glycolic acid works best. Lactic acid, you can play around the pH of lactic because it is not a really corrosive acid. It is more an acid because it's from milk. So it's more an acid which you can play around, okay? It is more moisturizing. It's not a very corrosive acid. Tartaric acid is a little bit tricky because you can play around with it as well. You can play tartaric acid, especially if it is like not in a blend form. It is in a form that, though it is blend, meaning to say it has other acids that play around with it to help out the acidity of the formulation. It's not as corrosive as glycolic acid, okay? Citric acid is more like a play of a 3.5 something, okay? So it's not really a very corrosive acid as well. But glycolic acid has its own pH that carries all of the other acids in this formulation. So it is like the catalyst of all of the acids that is in this formulation. Okay, that's why it's a pH of 3.6, because the glycolic acid, and it is the higher percent of all of the acids that is in this formulation. The acids that are in this formulation, the lactic, tartaric, and the citric, just help boost the efficacy of glycolic acid, in my opinion, as a formulator. Okay, I did not formulate this. I don't know the exact science that they have made into this, but that is my opinion as a formulator, looking at the ingredient list. Okay, so sodium hydroxide in this formulation, next to the water content, is a pH adjuster, so that they can up or they can lower the pH of the formulation 3 to 3.6. Okay, so this formulation, as you know, and I know a lot of you have been using this, is in a liquid form, and there is a pink color. Okay, the color of this comes from the Tasmanian ingredient that they have used as the purple berry, or the pepper berry, or the purple berry. That's why the color is purple pink. That comes from that natural coloring, because you cannot find in their formulation coloring that they have used. Okay, so in this formula, you can use it maybe once every 4 days, maybe once a week, to boost the efficacy of this particular peel. If you're using retinoids or retin A, retin A really prepares the skin for any type of peels. Okay, you can still use your retinoids, your retin A when you use this peel, but be cautious. And if you have sensitive skin, and if you have not been using retin A for a long time, you just have to be careful. Okay, guys? So you can use your retin A using this peel. Give it like a week or 2 weeks before you use this, and you can still use your retin A. Okay, so use this 2 weeks after you have used your retin A, 10 days, something like that, and then you can use this. It's a rinse off product. Use it on the skin for at least 10 minutes, 3 to 10 minutes, depending on the severity of your sensitivity. But I suggest that you use this maybe 7 to 10 minutes on your skin, okay, and then wash it off. And then after that, you can use your serum, any form of serum that you have. It's either vitamin A, ferrolic acid, which I use both. I layer them. I use my peptides first after I use the peel. After I use this, after I have washed this off my skin, and then I will just like tap this on the areas of the face, around the eye area, or on the jaw lines, on whatever, or on the neck. I use this on my neck as well. Okay, so the face and the neck is one face. You can use it if you are using this peel. But if you're using a professional peel, like say for example TCA, which is used for professional peels or Gessner's, you cannot use the Gessner's or the TCA peel on the neck area together with your face. It has to be separate, because that's too much for the skin to take. Okay, so you use this maybe once a week, or once every 4 days, or maybe once every 10 days, depending on your sensitivity. But this is a peel. It's a very mild peel. It's a deep cleansing peel. You cannot use this every day, guys, because the pH is 3.6. It's a little higher than normal. Okay, so then you can wash it off, and then you can use your serums of choice. Okay, I have peptides here, and I have also something that has a vitamin C and ferulic acid. That is what I layer them. I use first my peptides, and then I use my vitamin C and ferulic acid. On top of that, layer it, and that is after I use my pill. Whereas any form of pads, this pad has a pH of 6, okay? And why is that a pH of 6? This is a pH of 6 because actually this is really a toner type of pad. A toner type of pad. So you can use a toner that has glycolic acid, that has a blend maybe of other acids, maybe a toner that has glycolic acid at a certain percent, and certain pH, and other acids to boost the efficacy of your glycolic acid toners. Okay, so if you have a toner of salicylic acid at 2%, it's a toner type. So this pad is like a toner because the pH of this is close to 6, and they have I've researched this, they have discontinued the use of these pads. Anyway, the reason why the pads is used, and they recommend it as a daily usage, this is really a toner type. So if you have a toner and you have this, it's one and the same. It's one and the same. It's just that this is in a pad form, while the toner is a liquid form without the pads, and you will just apply the pads so that you can use your toner. But this one has a pad. This one is, they said that you can use it on a daily basis. If it is a pH of 6, it's a little bit something when you have very sensitive skin. If you have dilated blood vessels, when you have redness, most of the people who have dilated blood vessels I see are people who are on retin A, or if you have very sensitive skin and you have been scrubbing your skin every day on a daily basis with a scrub, there is a tendency for that skin to have dilated blood vessels. And guys, if you have dilated blood vessels, the skin will be very, very sensitive. And sometimes my clients who have sensitive skin cannot use any products on that skin. Even sometimes moisturizer, they will sensitize them, okay? So you have to be careful when you have the tendency of dilated blood vessels. Maybe you have used scrubs for so long, or maybe you have used like a cleansing bath, or maybe you have used something for your skin that really abrade that skin. That's why it's dilated, okay? So if you have dilated blood vessels, I don't want you to be using this on a daily basis, or any form of acid, okay? You have to be careful, because when you have dilated blood vessels, meaning to say the skin is already very, although the epidermal layer is really very thin, you have been contributing to the thinness of that epidermis, okay? Epidermal layer is paper thin, so it's very thin, and if you have dilated blood vessels, you are really helping out the thinness of that epidermal layer of your skin. So you have to be careful using anything, any acid form, if you have dilated blood vessels. And sometimes retin A can cause dilated blood vessels, or some of my clients who are very, very fair, clients from Ireland or have Irish skin, will have very, very sensitive skin. And if you have been going to the sun for quite a long time, that will also sensitize your skin, okay? So that is my review for these products, for the ordinary and for pads. If you're using them, that you just have to be careful, because they are sensitizers, and if you have very sensitive skin, you might think and consider not using it a lot. Okay, guys? So that is for now, and that is our review for these pills. Okay, bye!